In this video, we're going to give you 5 steps on how to get started as a marriage mentor. The first step, find a couple. Now, if you're doing this as a training in your church, then your pastor will help you find a couple that maybe has come forward for prayer or has requested some kind of marriage help. If you have a family that lives in your neighborhood or a connection through work of a couple that's just talking about, we wish our marriage could be a little bit stronger, identify a couple and ask them, invite them in to a mentoring relationship. And if you feel like you need to help define what marriage mentoring is, then send them the link to the video. What is marriage mentoring? So they get an idea of, what do you mean by you want to mentor us? Or what do you mean, do you want to get into a mentoring relationship? Send them the video so they can understand what's expected in that process, what's expected of you as the mentoring couple, and what would be expected to them, of them as a couple. The second step, pick the conversation. Now again, the first 4 conversations will be already established for you. So when you start a mentoring relationship with a couple, the first 4 conversations are going to be from the Marriage Basics series. And that first lesson is all about just the get to know you. It's the time that you'll build rapport, you'll get to know one another. Who are they? Who are you? How many kids do they have? Especially if you're being assigned to a couple from your church, you may not have any kind of relationship with them. And even if it's a neighbor or someone that you have somewhat of an association with, it's still a good time to just answer some easy questions and kind of get that rapport built, earn a little bit of trust that this is going to be a safe place, and feel like you feel comfortable with one another as a couple. And then you'll move into the 3 lessons on love, trust, and communication that I've already referred to a couple times. And after you go through those basic marriage principles, then you're going to have more of a framework to say, okay, this couple really seemed to sit up and pay attention to the communication stuff. Maybe we need to then start looking at some more conversations in the library about communication and conflict. Or maybe something's going to come up about the wife doesn't feel like the husband makes her a priority, or the husband feels like the wife is always critical. Then you might want to look more at the choosing love principle and some of the other conversations in the library. But getting started at least with those 4 conversations, you establish that rapport, you get into a rhythm, and then you go into those marriage basic principles, and it really kind of helps give you the framework, right? It lays the foundation then for every other conversation that you'll have. The third step is prep the conversation. So as the marriage mentoring couple, like I said before, the first 4 conversations of every time you start a mentoring relationship are of the Marriage Basics series. But then after that, you're going to pick up on what are some of those issues that maybe they still want to talk about. Maybe we need to look at communication some more. Find a conversation in the library, watch the video, think about those talking points, read through the questions. Be ready to add your own questions if you feel like there's some things you'd love to ask the couple, but really prep and think about what's the next conversation that this couple needs to have. And then spend time praying for them. Pray for this couple. Always be praying and that God would give you wisdom and discernment into what they're saying and what they're thinking. And just to have a tenderness toward them, that as you pray for them, that just you're encouraging them and you're coming alongside them, that God's going to do great things in their marriage and make their relationship healthier and stronger. So don't forget that prayer is an important part of prepping for any marriage mentoring experience that you have, which then leads to the 4th step, that you send the conversation then to your couple. And here's what that means. If you've chosen that conversation, you've watched the video and you've thought about it, make sure you send the link to that to your couple before they come into your next meeting. And the reason for that is it's going to be more beneficial, it's going to be better use of your time if all parties come prepared, if everybody knows what they're going to be talking about and everybody's on the same page. Because what that allows for then is that instead of trying to get oriented every meeting you have, and here, let's watch this video, and you've had no time to think about it except for the few minutes while the video plays, it makes your conversation not quite as full. But if everyone comes into the meeting having already prepped and thought and pondered, then you can get right into the conversation and feel like all parties can participate and you can really get into more in-depth conversation that way. Another great thing about this is that when you send that conversation to the couple in advance, you're going to get a sense for how serious are they taking the marriage mentoring process. If they come into your next meeting, they haven't watched the video, or it doesn't seem like they may have put it on, but they were doing other things, they didn't really pay attention, then that might be an indication that the couple isn't taking it as seriously. And certainly one of the things we want you to know as marriage mentors is never work harder than the couple coming for help is willing to work, right? I mean, there's no benefit to you as a mentoring couple to be more engaged in fighting for their relationship than they are. They're the ones that have to go home and use the information that they learn in the context of your mentoring relationship and start applying it in their own marriage. So if they show a lack of effort or a lack of desire toward that, then that might be an indication, a different conversation that you have that says, maybe you're not ready for this because it doesn't seem like you're willing to give the time that's needed to prep and to be prepared for conversations. And then the last step is have the conversation. Come into that meeting prepared, ready, you've prayed over them. Hopefully the other couples come prepared. Use those questions and have a conversation. And here's the thing to the marriage mentors, I want you guys to know, having a conversation is more about listening than it is about talking. And I think that's important. I think a lot of times people get in situations where they're not really sure, I'm supposed to be this marriage mentor. I should have all this wisdom and insight that I'm supposed to be giving. But really, as a marriage mentor, the greatest gift you can give to another couple is that you're willing to listen to them. Because at the end of the day, the couple that you're going to mentor, they're the experts on their relationship, right? They're the ones that live in it every day. So the more you can do in having that conversation is ask the questions and really listen to what they're saying. Listen for what the issues are. Listen for the areas where maybe they're hurt or there's missed expectations. But don't feel a pressure that you have to have this great answer every time. You're just having a conversation. Because remember, at the end of the day, marriage mentoring is about you coming alongside another couple to build into their marriage. It isn't about being the answer man. It isn't about being the professional counselor. It isn't about having this profound thing to say at the end of every meeting. It's giving this couple an opportunity to have a conversation, to discover truth, and to learn how to apply it in their marriage. That's what it's about.